Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we got Joy to the World. Joy Taylor of the Herd. Yeah, I know I've been all about the Herd content as of late, but I like how they present their stuff here, man. So, the other day we checked out Colin Cowherd's NBA playoff predictions about his overall bracket. I didn't necessarily agree with. I believe he had the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. I did agree with this finals matchup, which is the Suns and the Bucks. I think he had the Bucks winning, I had the Suns winning. So we're going to check out Joy Taylor here and see what her bracket's looking all about, man. Let's get it.
The NBA playoffs are here. They have arrived. And Colin gave his predictions earlier in the week, and I am going to give mine right now.
Let's do it.
So let's get started in the East. The first round,
pulling up my bracket instantly.
The Heat are going to play the Hawks or the Cavs. I don't think it matters. They are going to advance past either of those teams.
Yep.
They
Agree
led
with
the
that.
NBA in three-point percentage, have the best record in the East, best bench scoring in the NBA. Tyler Hero is probably going to win Sixth Man of the Year. And they are 20-12 against the top 10 teams in the East. I think they will win this convincingly. I'll give it a gentleman's sweep to be kind, but they are going to move past.
Yeah, I don't think I was gentleman. I think I said 4-0. I said 4-0.
Cavs. Next is the Sixers and the Raptors. I'm going to take the Sixers in this matchup.
4-2.
I think Joel Embiid is the MVP. They have the two best scorers on the court, obviously, in Embiid and Harden. The Raptors don't have anyone over 6'9" on their roster, so I don't know who's going to slow down Embiid either. I like the Raptors. They
man, like, whenever I hear, like, those statements, I don't know, like, I'm just, like, I hear that so often, like, who's going to stop Giannis? Who's going to stop this, this person? Who's going to stop this person? Like, nobody ever, because that's why they're so good, and nobody can stop them. I think it comes down to everybody else on the team, but, I don't know, like, while I do have the Sixers winning, I'm not totally counting out the Toronto Raptors, because I do feel like because they have that, like, unknowing factor of, like, while they do have their go-to guy in Pascal Siakam, it's like sometimes like OG could be the go-to, or Gary, or, Fred VanVleet, or, man, Scotty Barnes. So, I mean, while they don't have no way to stop Joel Embiid, nobody really does.
They are a great regular season team. They are well coached. They are well run. But I think the Sixers move past the Raptors in the first round. Bucks and Bulls, I think this is an easy one. The Bucks went 4-0 against the Bulls, an average win coming by 15 points.
I got it as a sweep. Maybe
really
they get
struggled
one.
down the stretch. They have 8-15 records since the All-Star break. And they are 1-14 against the top four teams in the Eastern Conference this season. So I'm going to take...
Okay, all I've heard was 1 through 3. So they did... Wow, that's even like... Okay, they got top... Okay, they got one win there.
Bucks
okay, that's
over
top
the Bulls.
4. Okay.
Convincingly, this might be a sweep. The Nets and Celtics. Now, this is a very interesting one.
It is. It is. It's
I'm
going to be
going
great.
to take the Nets, but I think this is a very long series. I also think that the Celtics are a regular season team, but the Nets did beat the Celtics in 5 games in the first round in last year's playoffs. We know how that goes. They're very reliant on Jason Tatum, and they are not a great clutch team. The Celtics aren't. 13-22 in clutch time games this season. That's the second worst in the NBA, and we know what...
I mean, I do have the Celtics beating the Nets. If the Nets win, I won't be surprised in the least, but I don't know. I don't think that the Celtics are, like, totally Jason Tatum dependent. While, yes, they do rely on their superstar, as any team really would, I do think, having guys like Jaylen Brown on the team and everything like that, I mean, Jaylen Brown, near all-star caliber player himself. I think he should have been an all-star this season. I don't believe he was he? And, yeah, so...
KD does when the game is on the line. So I'm going to take the Nets over the Celtics.
But JT got to be perfect. Got to be perfect.
Of the Eastern Conference
Average 40
playoffs.
a game.
The Heat and the 76ers. I'm going with the Heat.
Well, that's who I have to.
Bam Adebayo is an excellent defensive player.
Yep, I got Heat 4-2.
I think he and Embiid will have some battles, but I like Adebayo in that spot. Harden has also been struggling recently. While I don't think he'll have much of a problem in the first round, I do think that this will show up against a good defensive team and a great bench team.
And at that point, it comes down strictly to Tobias Harris. Like, James Harden, I love him as a playmaker, can struggle at times, though, offensively, over the course of the past few seasons. But I think, like, overall, like, Tobias, for the Sixers, even if you're a Sixers fan, like, you gotta admit this, like, for you guys to make your optimal run and get to the finals, Like, Tobias has to be that X factor. He just has to be.
In the Heat. And again, the Sixers are extremely reliant.
And also, I feel like we don't talk about, like, Tyrese Maxey enough. Maybe just I don't, but, yeah.
On Embiid, they have the worst bench scoring in the NBA since the Harden trade. So it's really, really star reliant in Philadelphia. I think the Heat move on. The Bucks and the Nets. Bucks went 3-1 against the Nets
Bucks
in the regular season. I don't try to get too much into that unless it's really blowout.
For this one, I said, yo, who's going to stop Giannis? Blake Griffin, and somebody commented, was like, Andre Drummond's on the team. Did you remember that, Crispy? I was like, yeah, I didn't forget. I didn't forget.
Every single time they're matched up.
Drummond ain't stopping
They have improved
Giannis.
their defense, have the Bucks, since adding Brooke Lopez. The Nets don't have a lot of chemistry, as we know. They have the most different starting lineups by any team this season. They are extremely reliant on KD. I think the Bucks are a championship level team. Obviously, they are the reigning champs, and I think they will move on past the Nets. So now we have the Eastern Conference Finals. Who do we go with?
Great matchup.
Do we go with my Miami Heat or the defending champ Milwaukee Bucks?
Bucks.
I'm going with the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
I am going with the Heat over the Bucks.
Why?
The Heat are seeking revenge, obviously swept by the Bucks in the first round last season. Giannis actually averages his fewest points per game, 18.2 in his career against the Heat. So this is a tough matchup for Giannis. I am going with my Miami Heat to advance out of the Eastern Conference. No shot.
See, and that, I mean, she said she's a Heat fan, so obviously, you're going to be biased towards your favorite team and stuff like that. But I feel like at that point, that's when you see, like, when, like, that's, like, the argument is, like, they're on, like, they want revenge. It's like, at that point, it's like, all right, well.
Shocker there.
We'll see what happens.
All right, into the Western Conference. The Suns will be playing either the New Orleans Pelicans or the Los Angeles Clippers. They will make quick work of whoever comes out of this playing game.
Yep.
Suns
Sweet.
are the best team in the league, a very complete team.
Sweet. No, I got
They're playing
4-1.
great. They're
4-1.
healthy. They're going to move on very quickly in this matchup. Now, the Jazz and the Mavs. This is really interesting because Luka is dealing with a calf injury. He's not going to play game one.
Or game two, maybe.
He might not come back at any point during the series, depending on how severe it is. I personally wouldn't even push Luka to come back. We saw how damaging that could be with
KD.
Kevin Durant in Golden State. I think it's extremely risky. Obviously, it's the playoffs, but the Mavs have never advanced past the first round of the playoffs with Luka Doncic. You don't want to push him and have a tragedy. I think that the Jazz will win this matchup. I would have taken...
Thank you. I, like, literally said the same exact thing, and I had nothing but Maverick fans coming at me saying, like, oh, you disrespecting the Mavericks, Crispy. We're going to come at you, Crispy. And it's just like, I'm sorry, but if you're missing Luka, you're a different bitch-ass team because of it. That's just facts of the matter. Like, we can only go based off what we see. Like, yes, if Luka only misses game one, it's like, yes, they got a huge chance. They can still win it, no doubt. But, like, the severity of the end, like these injuries, nothing to joke around about. So, I don't know. I'm sorry for saying that I think the Jazz are going to win because the Dallas Mavericks might be without Luka Doncic. I guess my apologies. My apologies.
The Mavericks if Luka was healthy, but I'm going to go with the Jazz in this matchup. The Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. This is going to be an amazing first-round series. I cannot wait to watch this. The Grizzlies are the second best record in the NBA. Number one defensive ranking since the All-Star break.
Yeah, I got
These
the
are the
Grizz.
two youngest teams in the league. This is going to be
But it
an
ain't gonna be
amazing
easy.
matchup, but I'm going to go with the Grizzlies in this one. And the Warriors over the Nuggets. The Warriors led the NBA in defensive rating this season. Jordan Poole is having a breakout season.
Okay, I said it wasn't going to be easy, but I have Memphis sweeping the T-Wolves 4-0. I don't think that's going to happen. That was a piss poor take on my behalf.
And they're just extremely reliant on Nikola Jokic. There's some talk that Jamal Murray may come back. They're still without Michael Porter Jr.
You and that, he hasn't
They just
played
don't
in a
have
year,
enough, so I'm
if
going
not
to
longer.
go with the Warriors in that matchup to advance into the second round. So, Suns and Jazz.
Suns.
Going with the Suns. They rank top three in both offensive and defensive efficiency. The Jazz have never advanced past the first round of the playoffs since Mitchell joined the team in 2017. They lost 7 of their last 11 games. They're not going to have enough for the Suns. The Suns are going to win that matchup. The Warriors, I believe, will win over the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are one of the youngest teams in the NBA, average age of 24.4 years old. Ja Morant is obviously spectacular, but he is...
Fair statement. I personally do have the Memphis Grizzlies over the Warriors. I would say, like, this is, like, the take that, like, a lot of people have come at me, like, the most about. If the Warriors win, I won't be surprised in the slightest. I don't know. I feel like the reasonings need to, like, switch up, though, about, like, why we're counting out the Memphis Grizzlies. Because, like, the age has not been a factor all season long. I know the playoffs are a different beast and everything like that. But I don't know. Like, the Memphis Grizzlies has given me, like, zero reasons to doubt them.
returning from injury.
Well, until the Western Conference match, but I got losing to the Suns. But
I think the Warriors are just deeper.
Not because of
they
age.
have more veterans. They've been here before. I do think that the Grizzlies are 1 year away, but I don't think it's this year, and I'm going to take
1 year away
the
from being
Warriors
1
in
year
that
away.
spot. So the Western Conference
Bruno.
Finals will be the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. I am taking the Suns here.
Okay.
I just think the Suns are the most complete team in the West. They're great top to bottom, great bench.
Yeah, nobody wants to be like a regular season like watcher when it comes to like making these statements, but like, I mean, that's a 64-win team. Like, I know regular season's different, but also the Suns like got to the finals last year too, so they do have all that experience regardless.
Great coaching. Monty Williams has done an amazing job with them, and I just feel like it's their year to make it to the finals again.
Who we got winning?
The Warriors' big three also have only played 11 minutes together this season, so they're not coming in running things as they usually are. So I'm going to go with the Suns to advance out of the Western Conference, which means my NBA Finals matchup is the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat.
Suns. Don't be biased.
And I bet you guessed it. No, I'm going with the Miami Heat. Miami Heat are going to win the championship.
Where does heat come from? It comes from the sun. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, my friends.